Hey Silver, I got a new drinking game for ya. Take a shot every time a season 1er complains about this episode's fan pandering. Wait, what the fuck am I doing? Stop!
I immediately regret this decision.
Oh my god, I just killed Silver Quill. Oh well, on with the show. So, 100 episodes. That's a hell of a milestone. You know, for a show called My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, I'm starting to believe that this show definitely turned out better than it had any right to. And it was all because of the help the show has received from its loyal, or 50% loyal fanbase. And in return, the writers acknowledge the support given to them by their fans in the episode Slice of Life. The synopsis brings back Cranky Doodle and Matilda Donkey from A Friend Indeed, and it's really pleasing to see them make a comeback, especially knowing that this episode is about them getting married. There's only one catch. It turns out that Derpy Hooves ended up making a mistake with the invitations in which the date for the ceremony is going to be today instead of tomorrow. Derpy sets out to find a way to make things right by talking it over with Dr. Hooves, and from there, all sorts of crazy stuff happens. Matilda and Cranky are running mad across town, Hooves gets caught up in a bowling tournament, a bugbear attacks Ponyville, Bon reveals her identity as a secret agent, don't ask, it just makes it less fun, Derpy setting up fireworks, a cameo by the river monster from the pilot episode, Octavia running late for the wedding while figuring out what melody to play, all of these shenanigans occurring at once under the pressure of setting up a frickin' wedding. So as you can probably tell, the story isn't all that spectacular. It's just a bunch of random things happening while two lovers are going crazy over the possibility of their wedding not being perfect. However, after watching it a few times, even during my first viewing of the episode, I came to realize that the story, while an important part of any episode, is not what makes it entertaining. What makes this episode entertaining is that it's one big Easter egg. People kept on saying that this episode was going to focus on the background characters, and while many saw this as a good idea, others were worried that it'd be a compilation of shameless fan pandering. And I hate to admit it, but this is what the episode is. A whole bunch of fan pandering. But surprisingly, it doesn't get in the way of the plot at all. The writers managed to take a whole bunch of ideas inspired by the fans and have fun with them, while also using them to the narrative's advantage, which is told through a number of subplots. These subplots, like I said before, feature Derpy, Dr. Hooves, Lyra Heartstrings, Sweetie Drops, Matilda, Vinyl Scratch, Octavia Melody, and they all literally come together perfectly. It's also nice to see that the personalities these background characters have are all adopted by most fans' interpretations of them, and it's great seeing these behaviors being brought to life, at least for bigger roles. Derpy being a silly pony, Dr. Hooves being a stallion of science, Lyra and Bon being close friends, and Vinyl Scratch and Octavia Melody having different interests in music, but still finding ways to mix them together and getting along while living in the same house. Aside from just getting to see these side characters getting more spotlight, we also get to see a bunch of background characters making an appearance. The flower ponies, the spa ponies, the jelly pony, the bowling foal from Cutie Pox, the moving ponies from Feelin' Pinky Keen, Berry Punch, Button Mash referencing Jan Animations, and that's just to name a few. And on top of that, there's a whole bunch of references being made by these characters and the environment that they're placed in. Lyra and Bon sitting on benches, movie references like King Kong and the Big Lebowski, Derpy and Dr. Hooves being shipped, the cane from the Season 4 premiere, Dr. Hooves not knowing what man means since they don't live in a world with humans in it. Again, that's just to name a few. Even the more active side characters got recognition and noticeable cameos. Big Mac and Cheerilee stand next to each other, which is referencing Hearts and Hooves Day. Celestia and Luna are bickering like sisters while still making up before the end. A changeling who stopped working for Queen Chrysalis, I guess. Shining Armor and Cadence appear at the wedding. Zecora gets a cameo, Snips and Snails get a cameo, thankfully without any dialogue. Spike makes it to the wedding without being treated like a butt monkey. The main six takes Spike's place in getting butt monkeyed while still getting to see the wedding through a window. Even Steven's return from the very first episode gives some additional depth to Cranky's search for Matilda when he reveals that they were old friends. There are so many winks to the audience in that you know the writers are giving into the temptation of selling out to their fans. It's like writing the scenarios for this episode was one great big guilty pleasure of theirs, and yet they still managed to tell a story that's well-paced, well-written, well-timed, and well-organized. You actually find yourself pausing the episode every couple of seconds to see if there was a reference that you missed, examining every small detail to see how many references you can find. It's like the entire episode is a game of I Spy, and you want to find every last thing that can possibly be found. The musical segment with Octavia and Vinyl is considered to be by many the highlight of the episode, and for good reason. It's a scene where you just listen to the soothing mix of fancy orchestra combined with head-rocking dubstep. As the music continues to play, you get to see all the fun the animators had with this scene. The flashy lights, the mixing of the colors, the speed of the pacing, the styles blending together. It's just such a fun scene. However, if I can say a few things, there are some parts that ended up bugging me. First off, the bowling alley scene, while playing a nice homage to The Big Lebowski, doesn't really have anything to do with the story. I mean, we see the bowling guy show up to the wedding, but at some point you notice that those scenes could have been cut out and nothing would have changed. It's not bad filler, just noticeable filler. Then there's Sweetie Drops announcing the defeat of the Bugbear. Wait a minute, when did that happen? We never saw that. When was it defeated? How was it defeated? Where did they put it? Where did it go? Was it sent back to Tartarus? Did it end up escaping? We don't learn anything about the Bugbear except that it decided to attack Ponyville and give the main six an excuse to not be in the foreground. Also, this is just me talking, why didn't Pinky get to interact with Cranky and Matilda? Wasn't she the one who finally brought them together? Isn't she the reason this wedding is happening? You could have made her their best mare, have them share a little talk, allow Cranky to interact with her to further express his gratitude for helping him reunite with his lost love. When I learned about this episode being the one where they get married, I was waiting for a scene where Pinky gets some kind of interaction with the scenario of them getting together. At least show her crying tears of joy at their wedding. But what happens instead?
Is every pony here? Oh, Set Mayor!
Alright, I've complained long enough. Now for the episode's moral, which I believe is one of the absolute best in the series. Explained by the mayor, which helps to make her look better after the hate she received from the last roundup, she talks about how no matter who you are, there are all sorts of different stories happening around us. Whether it be our own story or the stories of people who pass by or take time to talk to us, we all have something to share, something to learn by sharing it, something to contribute. We are all our own person walking through the simple road through life. And in some instances, some of our lives can come together to make incredible things happen. Let's just say that after a certain number of events that have transpired, I find myself taking this episode to heart a lot more than I would have. Given the way the moral is executed, there's a ton of ways that every different person watching it can interpret it. And like those people, I can imagine rewriting the words to match how people can end up coming together while still carrying out their own story based on what I've experienced. It's a moral that anyone can understand, and one that can be looked at from any angle that they desire. Slice of Life isn't just a milestone, it's a fantastic love letter to all the people who have come to love watching the show and still love watching it even to this day. It manages to tell a good story while also paying great homage to its most loyal fans, while not doing so much as to let its admitted fan pandering get in the way. It's an episode that jumps the shark in all the right ways. MisAnthro Pony, over and out.
What is life? Is it nothing more than the endless search for a cutie mark? And what is a cutie mark but a constant reminder that we're all only one bugbear attack away from oblivion? And what of the poor gator, flank forever blank, destined to an existential swim down the river of life to an unknowable destiny?
We're a little bit country, we're a little bit rock and roll.
We could be a nation that believes in war
And still tells the world that we don't. Let the flag for hypocrisy fly high from every pole, 'cause we're a little bit country, and we're a little bit rock and roll. Well, good night, everybody. It sure has been great bringing you 100 episodes. We want to thank our guests, the pro-war people, and the anti-war people.
What the hell are they doing now? I don't know.
For the war, against the war, who cares? 100 episodes!
I hate this town. I really, really do.